3, 2, 1. Alright, how you doing? Hero of None here. Talking about the Thieves, the Dark Brotherhood DLC. Like I said before, we were so rudely interrupted by rude people that just can't realize we're trying to get a camera shot here. Hero of None here, talking about the Dark Brotherhood DLC. And I think that pretty much sums up what I love the most about the Dark Brotherhood DLC here. The fact that we have kill animations, the way that we handle the justice system in this is probably one of the best things I've seen in a DLC update in a while. Take aside the entire storylines and all that other stuff there that you have Rothgar, some of the challenges you have with it's something that gets me really interested in the game again, and it gives like another spark to it that you don't have with any other MMO. I really hope they expand that, because it's something that almost every TES game and every Fallout game that Bethesda has put out there has really benefited from. Has been that like slow motion kill cam when you get a kill. And I'm surprised it took them this long to get it in, but I'm happy they finally have it in there. As for the changes, mixed bag of results. I think it's nice, and it's going to be a little bit tough for some players. For the issues of the poisons that people have, there's a lot of good things and bad things with them. I think you're going to have to see how they shake out before they really say that it's going to destroy PvP, like everyone keeps on bitching about. I mean, some of the mentality, some of the issues that people have is like, they're going to be poisoned by a zerg of people that are going to come up and kill them. And I'm just like, well, what do you mean by that? What's going to happen with them? Well, they're going to come up and apply their poison at once. So like, we have enchantments, we can be hit by enchantments all at the same time as well, but that's not what kills you inside it. It's usually just the overwhelming numbers and the people doing, like, you know, really high damage builds that you can't really block out of. Poisons are going to also put debuffs on you that are major or minor debuffs, so if somebody tries putting a major or minor debuff on you, again, that just, it's the same one. It's not like you're going to have like 60% plus 60% plus 60% more reduction of costs or anything like that. It's going to be 60% flat because it's the same debuff. On top of it, the poisons are currently overriding each other, so it's probably not going to be that bad in the general run. In the long-term run, it's also supposed to have dilution, so it doesn't apply as much. And it's 20% chance for a debuff every 10 seconds, because it has a cooldown. And then on top of that, most of those buffs are between 4 to 6 seconds. I'm not sure if it's going to break something, but I think a lot of people are just chicken littles and saying that the sky is falling before they've actually seen what's going to happen, and just not trusting the changes. But the reason I'm kind of happy with them, though, on the other hand, is that with every time that they're putting in some of this stuff here, they're getting onto a better base of less burst damage and more thoughtful damage and more concentrated damage that you can actually look at and think of a build that's actually going to be more of an MMO type battle. Currently, what we have right now in a lot of the PvP battles is like a Counter-Strike game, where you turn a corner and then like in the next 3 or 4 seconds, you're dead. Because you can't keep up with somebody doing a crit rush, wrecking blow, crit rush, and just like the insane combos that they do on top of it. They've reduced some of those current metas and made it so it's a much more simpler set of abilities to think about how you're going to be putting it together. They've also changed a lot of the ability lines. I play DK regularly, and I'm really happy with a lot of the poison damage they put in, because it makes a lot more sense to me. It synergizes with Mighty. It gives us a durability that's not just fire damage, fire damage, fire damage. It's fire damage or poison damage. Similarly, I'm sure that some of the Nightblades are happy that they have something that's a magic damage or a disease damage, right? Which kind of fits with their class. The damage shield issues, I don't know. I'm up in the air about that. In my opinion, it's nice that they're making it an active ability rather than just something that people will buff themselves up and forget about. I don't know if the 6 seconds that they reduced everything to, or 10 seconds for one ability, is going to be make it or break it for certain class builds, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be able to adjust to it. Especially with the fact that Sorcerer now have a lot more healing abilities on their line than they previously did back when shield stacking was at its peak. In general, though, some of the magic abilities are probably going to be, or sorry, magic builds, I should say, are definitely going to be taking a backseat to some of the stamina builds. But that's kind of how every patch goes. It's like stamina, magicka, stamina, magicka, stamina, magicka. They flip back and forth each patch. But on the plus side, you're seeing heavy armor now taking a more vital role with some of the damage return that it has and some of the constitution changes they have as well. But at the same time, a lot of people feel that it's still a poor man's DPS set and not an actual class skill with it as it is. But I don't know. In general, I think that the way that the journey is going, the way that things are changing, we're going to start seeing a lot more mitigation with heavy armor in the next patch. After this patch has kind of been vetted through and gotten us through, poisons have been vetted. We've now realized how they're supposed to be used. Now maybe abilities can have similar effects, and we can actually look at having mitigation, but you have to balance that mitigation with your regenerations, and also have to have balance it against your weapon damage and your spell damage, and then of course your resource pools as well. That's where I would ultimately like to see things, instead of having everyone stack up weapon damage and stamina, magicka, or spell damage and magicka. The same old metas. They don't have to worry about regenerations because there's nothing to attack those resources. Well, poisons kind of do that. Very happy that they added in the poisons in general, because it gives something more to the alchemy line to take a look at doing. Trait changes. I'm on the fence. I understand some of the changes. I think some of them will be a little bit more well used, but some of them still need more usage or more refining. They got rid of weighted. They put in that, I think it's divisive to give more ultimate, but it's still not enough. It doesn't give any inspiration to a real build to it that I can think of at this time. But hey, you guys can prove me wrong if you want to. Go ahead, post up some build videos or something in the comments as well. But hey, we'll be taking a look at more of that when it comes out. Dark Brotherhood quest line. I've skimmed through it. It looks really awesome. The area is awesome. The Dark Sacraments, hiding through areas, going through, finding your targets, killing them, getting out, I really love. I like some of the questline stuff there with the assassinations. A few things I would like to note that I would like to have. They have a few alternative ways to kill people as like major plot points. I would like to see more of that inside of some of the Dark Sacraments and the NPC kill quests that we do go around in Tamriel with. And what I'm talking about there is, if you've ever played Skyrim, you know that there was like, you had to go kill people on stuff, and you had options when you got to the area of how to kill them. Like, for example, in Skyrim, there's that one wedding that you go to, and you have the chance to either kill them right in front of them, push a shield down, or not a shield, a statue down on top of them, or do some subterfuge or something like that. Hey, you. We're having a little thing here. Okay. Thank you. Now, back to what we were saying there. So, they had various ways to do things, and I really want to see that as well. Like, the NPC we just killed there. I would like to see the ability like, oh, they're right by an edge. Oh, look, there's X, kill with a blade of woe, or, like, B, push them off. Like, something like that, Or, go to their food and poison it, or something else like that. It's just more stuff on top of that. I really love it, though, with the Blade of Woe, and I hope they add on to it and improve it and just add more onto it. I will say that I love this DLC more than I love the Thieves Guild DLC. Thieves Guild DLC felt like it's a little bit lackluster. It felt like it was supposed to be adding in more gold. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be the DLC of, like, wealth and power and all that stuff, but this DLC, I think I'm going to be earning a lot more in this DLC than I was in the Thieves Guild, and the justice system is also going to be a lot easier and a lot more interesting with this DLC than it was with the Thieves Guild. So I don't know. It's a little bit late. I'm rambling. I apologize as well. So if I keep on interchanging Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood, but you get the point here. I really like this DLC. The map is a good size here. It's open. It feels like there's not restricted. There's new enemies in here. There's minotaurs roaming around. You have wolves. We have a new enemy to like face and talk about as well. Also seems like there's more that we can add in here, which I do hope that they do in the future. We have 2 new towns to go into, which is extremely nice considering the fact that Abba's Landing here is the only town in a DLC about stealing and going into towns. You know, but I mean, it still had some stuff there that was nice and quirky and kind of like met its own thing there as well. And in general, I think this DLC is going to be a good one. I do recommend getting it. If you're not sure, if you're on the fence, I at least recommend getting an ESO Plus membership. The crafting bags alone are going to save you a headache. Just getting that $15 for 1 month and then just disabling after that makes it so that all your crafting stuff goes into those crafting bags. You don't have to worry about having banker tunes for all that stuff, and then you can be you can be a hoarder and start collecting that stuff after your ESO Plus goes away, and collecting stuff and waiting for the next DLC to come out if you really didn't like this DLC. But at least that's what I recommend. Hope you guys are going to take a look at this. Enjoy the DLC. Apologize for the few days that it came out right before the DLC, but we all have some time constraints. I really want to thank the folks that have helped me out here, paying attention in the stream chats and all that other stuff there. If you have any questions or comments on stuff, go ahead, put them down below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in Gold Coast and the Thieves Guild, or Gold Coast and the Dark Brotherhood. It's late, guys. I gotta get some sleep. I hope you realize how much I like this DLC for staying up this late to reveal everything in it. Anyways, have a good night. 3, 2, 1, done!